young people know how to act because their behavior can cost them a lot.
Right. Right. Okay. Hi, I'm Dr. Ciri.
And I'm Dr. Ava, and we are Sisters in Medicine.
Today we wanted to talk to you all about being a minority in medicine. And by minority, we mean being a woman as well as being women of color. So, Dr. Ava, what is, let's say, your number one tip for minorities in medicine in terms of navigating the professional realm of medicine?
So, my take is this: I feel like the career of medicine as a whole is a male dominated career. And so, recently more and more women are getting into medicine, but it's still a male dominated career. So, that being said, when you're a woman and then on top of it, you're a minority woman, there's not a lot of minority women in medicine as compared to the non minority people. So, I think that we always have to make sure that we maintain a certain level of etiquette, a certain level of professional behavior because we're more noticeable since there's not many of us. You can walk into a room and be the only black female around, but there may be two or three, but 90 other people that are not. If you walk into a conference room, I'm just saying. So you'll be noticed. And so everything you do, everything you say, everything you wear has to always be professional, especially when you're going into the workplace because you don't want them to have to say anything about your behavior or what you're wearing, that can affect your job. But that being said, even outside of your job, you always have to maintain a certain level of etiquette and professional behavior too. Would you agree?
I definitely agree.
Yeah, I think that medicine is a career that you can't really run away from. It follows you everywhere you go. And now with the age of social media and everything being put out there, even if you were off and you were on vacation, you went to the club and you started drinking, you still have to be careful how much you're drinking, who you're hanging out with, the type of pictures that people are taking of you, what you're doing in those pictures. Because that can affect your job, even though you did those things outside of your job.
Right.
So it always follows you everywhere you go. Well, how do you feel about that? What do you think?
So I agree with you. I think dressing professionally is very important for everyone, but especially for people of color because, like you said, we are more noticeable. The other thing I would say is, especially for people of color, men and women, and more so women, I feel like making sure you wear your badges close to your face, like higher up, so that people can see that you are a doctor, so that they know you're a doctor. Because a lot of times even after you introduce yourself to people as a female, as a black woman, as a woman of color, you say, "Oh, I'm Dr. So and so," and they'll still think you're the social worker, you're the care coordinator, you're their nurse. Forget the fact that you have on a white coat and a badge right in front of them. They'll still think that you're something other than the doctor. So, just to try to minimize that, you should always wear your badge close to your face. And another thing, you have to maintain a professional demeanor when you're encountered with things like that. You can't get annoyed. You can't react the way that you probably want to react or the way you're feeling on the inside because it is really annoying. But you can't react. Kind of just have to smile and sort of laugh it off and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Let me remind you, I'm your physician." Anything else you want to add about that?
No, I want you to give everyone your opinion on outside of work.
Okay, so outside of work. So me personally, I'm a resident physician, so I'm in a residency program and there are a lot of social events that take place outside of my program. My program is very into making sure residents have lives outside of the program. So they have all these events like wellness event, get-togethers and things like that. And personally, I'm reluctant to go because of exactly what you were saying about how you're always under scrutiny. Even if people aren't intending to scrutinize you per se. You know, anything you do, any small thing you do is being judged and you can be held accountable for that. So, you know, doctors in general, whether they're minority or not, are held to a higher standard, I feel like, than other people in the population. We're on this pedestal and people expect us to be, you know, always composed, always on our A game, always just perfect. And the reality is, we're imperfect people who do, you know, a hard job. I think I totally agree with you. Being on your A game, even outside of work, especially with social media. And then on top of that, let's talk about how we behave within the social media realm. That's very important. A lot of hospitals have policies about what you can and can't put on the internet. I've known people, you know, in the past from other programs to even get in trouble for things that they put on social media because, you know, especially if someone's broadcasting where they're going to medical school or where they're training, you know, people can associate what you say with those places. And so it looks bad if you're putting, you know, bad things on the internet. So you're held accountable for those things, always under a microscope.
Yeah, with social media, you can't erase that. And it's available for anyone to see. So, if you go out based on the crowd that you're with, just be careful what goes on around you. Be careful who you hang out with. Be careful what you say or do. And, try not to drink too much so that you don't remember what you said or did or how you behaved, because that would definitely count against you. And it doesn't matter if you were off duty, if you were having fun on your off time, and if you're perfect when you're in the hospital or in the clinic, they don't really care. That can affect you no matter what.
What is your take on being a woman in medicine and the things that are expected of you, not from your patients but from your coworkers? Do you feel like different expectations are put on you as a woman in terms of, for instance, the look on your face every day? Like, are you constantly aware of how your face is coming off to people because you're a woman? Like, have you ever been told, hey, you should smile more, or hey, you should, you know what I mean?
Um, I just think that we're so used to being criticized all the time that sometimes you don't even realize that it's you that they're criticizing. You just think that, oh, that's normal. They do it to everybody.
Right.
It becomes your regular normal life. But
Yeah.
when you sit back and start looking at the demographics, who's around you, how much of a minority you really are, because I really think black women are only something like 4%. What were you saying? 4%? 2%? I was thinking 4%, so that's even higher. That's nothing compared to all the amount of doctors there are combined. And so we're so used to being criticized all the time that you start feeling as if that is normal, that that's how it's supposed to be, and it's not. So a lot of times when I've been told things like that, I brush it off. I don't even realize, that they're saying anything
A
negative.
man can come to work, never smile, never act warm and fuzzy, ever, and no one calls him on it. If a woman comes to work and is about business, is focused, is straight faced, stone faced, you're going to take me seriously, that woman gets asked, hey, why aren't you smiling? Why aren't you warm?
Or she's been called
Yeah.
the B word, maybe,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's not boss.
Right. Exactly. So I feel like men can exhibit a certain behavior and it be revered. It's a good thing. Whereas a woman tries to mirror that, especially being in a male dominated field, and you can't. Like you said, it's looked at negatively. So that's what I was kind of getting at. That's kind of what I wanted people to know. And I feel like outside of medicine, that's in general across the board. I feel like women face those same issues.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Especially minority women. But ultimately, the goal of this video is to let everybody know that whatever you do, even outside of going to work, is always going to be scrutinized, and it can always count against you.
Mm,
Even if you were off duty, even if you were off on vacation, even if you were not working, make sure you always maintain a certain level of, professional behavior.
exactly. So, just to wrap up and recap, I guess the take home messages are dress professionally as a black person, as a woman in medicine, as a black woman in medicine. Always dress professionally. Make sure your badge is in clean, plain sight for everyone to see. Don't wear it on your hip. Don't wear it behind your back. Wear it high up on your chest, close to your face. Thirdly, make sure you are on your A game and practicing professional etiquette inside and outside the workplace. And if you are a woman in medicine in particular, be expecting those comments that we talked about how you need to smile more or how you need to act warm and fuzzy. Like, be ready for those comments and always react to them in a professional way as best you can. Right? So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. Let us know what you want to hear about next time, and we will see you later.
Bye.